Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Frostbite Tribe. In the last episode, Sandstorm stumbled his way into a skirmish with a carnivore when he found it chasing after poor little lonely deer, and now he's kind of become like his great-grandfather in a way, as he's standing in as the cavalry for a deer herself. The carnivore is still looming very, very close to them, so we're waiting to see if maybe it's still chasing after deer or if it's going to turn its attentions over to Sandstorm and try to hit him instead. We do have his little sister waiting on the shores though. Cora has stumbled her way down in his shadow just to try to investigate the water, but if we do run into some trouble with the carnivore more than we're expecting, then we can have her swoop in too with her big double claws, her spiky body. She's like a perfect mix of her grandparents actually, which I thought was really cool. She has the spiky body of Blizzard and the gorgeous gills of Lavender. And then I noticed way back here, this little guy, Glacier, was actually hiding tiny little frog toes. I had no idea that he was hiding those inside his nest. So I guess we're going to have to watch out for that when Stag has more babies. And he did breed with all of our females over here. We are desperately hoping for some more nimble fingers because we would like them to do more exploring today. If they could push out the territory and sniff around for some more of those shriveled up berry bushes, then we could at least have some more safe sources of food to use. As it is right now, we're not in a place where I feel comfortable enough to let them have their babies because we are quite low on our supplies. And Hart is also passing away on this next turn too, with his big digging trunk, so he won't be able to give us those nice big bounties of roots anymore. I am hoping, however, that once we get rid of the carnivore and we have the nice feast for all of our babies, hopefully these two will be able to have one with the digging trunk again and the Megaloceros horns. That's the big thing. We want to see those giant moose antlers again. But I think we're ready to skip the turn now, because we want to see exactly where the carnivore is going to go. If Nip jumps in there after all, then he is going to end up getting hit once he hits the carnivore himself. So let's go ahead and skip the day and see where it goes. Oh no, he changed his attentions. He locked eyes with you, Sandstorm, so I suppose you could have, after all, just jumped in there and landed an extra blow. But the carnivore only has 8 days remaining on its lifespan, so you could honestly just take it out all by yourself. With your poison and everything. You even poisoned the carnivore right before it passed. So dear, you might as well go ahead and pick up the shells, because Sandstorm can even pick up this giant pile of carnivore meat with his very last turn. And then we have all of these shells to offer to the Balance sisters maybe. I'm sure she would share those stories with him, especially because they're such a big part of her own family. So with 20 pieces of food in our stores, let's breed them right now with her last turn, and then on the next day she can make her way back to the shores right by her berry bush, because I'm sure she'll have some nice tasty berries to pick up for her babies, and we'll see if she can make another nest that will catch the eye of the Balance sisters. Now, Cora, we want you to go into the ocean water, especially now that everything seems safe, so let's scoot you down this way. We will have to be mindful of the leeches. We have seen some leeches in the water before, and there one is right now, looming way deep down in the waves, waiting for Cora to make her move. So why don't you go a little bit closer to your brother? That way, if you do run into any danger, he could at least take the leech off of you. I think she's going to want to follow in the footsteps of her grandmother though, and make her way over here where we know that there is a tiny patch of kelp somewhere in the water where we could definitely find some good fish. Now let's head back here again to the mainland to see if we can find anything other than these cactus plants. And oh, poor little Hart. I'm going to miss him so much. He was absolutely adorable. I guess Glacier, you could at least pick up your old nest, because we don't really need that anymore, and then we could use the extra material later for somebody else's baby. We're going to want to have Stag come over here and at least use one turn to pick the berries though. Every last berry counts right now, even if it's only one. Now what should we change your gems over to? I suppose we could do a combination between Stag's orange Balance sister gems and the blue warrior gems of his mother. So we'll go ahead and change the first one to orange and the second one to blue, and then when he gets his final one we'll change that to orange too. Now I guess it might be a good idea to have our females follow the stream to see if we can find any more fish in the water. This stream over here was very bare, so I'm not too confident that we're going to find anything to eat down here, but we might as well give it a try. We'll have Shiver skip over this way, and then Onyx could actually go around the twins. And then let's sniff around just to make sure that we're not missing anything. So far, I don't see anything in the grass, none of those shadows of the shriveled up berry bushes, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Now we'll scoot over this way, and again, it really doesn't seem like there's any spawners inside these streams for the fish, so I think we might be limited to the ocean waves after all when we're looking for a little morsel to pick up in the water. Now you guys better pick up the pace, otherwise you're going to be left behind. We'll scoot Glacier right up there with his frog toes, and we'll bring Stag to the other side of the berry bush. That way he can still pick up the berry that spawns on the next turn. We do need to get more nimble-fingered babies just to take control of all of the berry bushes on the desert island. It would be nice if we could bring him back down here after all to pick up more shells, because I feel like those are giving us more food than the tiny shriveled berry bushes are, but at the same time we don't want to let any of them go to waste. Oh gosh, and Onyx, you actually have a little root next to you that you can dig up, so don't let that go to waste either. You can dig that up for us and then scoot a little bit deeper into the grass. We don't want our frost sisters to get too far away from each other either, so we'll make sure that they're very, very close. We did have some wandering males in the last episode to worry about, so hopefully they're all gone now. It looks like we just have tons and tons of those cactus plants back here. That's a little bit unfortunate because of course those are going to hurt us, but there's still plenty of land that we haven't actually explored yet. This entire area over on the right side of the island, way past where we initially landed right off of those grassy ports. So there's still a chance that they could find something else to eat, but I guess for now we might want to start clearing out our pathways so nobody gets lost, and so we can pick up some more nesting material in the process, because there are a lot of families who want to have little babies pretty soon, especially you two down here. I think we're going to go with you first just to see if we can get those extra prehistoric genes. Now let's zoom out and skip the day again, just to make sure there aren't any carnivores looming out in the grass, but so far so good. Everything looks safe, right? We don't have any dangers to worry about. Excellent. Okay, so Anime is being very kind to us. Maybe that means that we can have this baby on this turn after all. And look at you, little Cora, you're all grown up now. She can take on her final blue water gem and then wave a short goodbye to her brother and his mate. I'm sure she's going to be back very, very soon after all. Oh my gosh, and she already found some fish. One tiny little morsel of a fish. Actually, there might be two there. There might be another one just barely ghosting in and out of existence in the water. It's hiding very well. So let's go ahead and fish up all of those tiny fish so we can get that extra food. Yes, excellent. And then we'll keep scooting over this way. Oh, that's why. We have another patch of kelp down here, and it looks like we already have some fish spawning right in the middle of it all. They might get a little bit scared if they do see Cora in the distance, so we'll probably have to chase them down after her turn is over. But let's go ahead and bring Deer right down to this place next to the shell. We'll have her place down her nest so she can have her baby on the next turn, and Sandstorm can come next to her too, just so we know that he's in the area and keeping her safe. We're a little bit lower down this time too. I think we typically make the nest right next to the berry bush, so this is interesting. I guess she's trying to get even closer to the Balanced Sisters than she was before when she was born. So for their mutation menu, we want to make sure that those nimble fingers, of course, are in here, probably in the 30% slot. Though I suppose that means there's always a chance that they could have a double nimble-fingered baby too, which would be quite interesting. Not too much of a help on this biome because we don't have any of those normal berry bushes to pick from, but at least we would know that Vankir is also watching over us. So let's bring Sandstorm up here to gather up a little bit more of this grass, and then we'll go way back here again and make sure that we're clearing out this entire area for our killer twins. Hopefully on the next turn they can start having their babies before anybody gets too old. Again, I would really like to find another source of food before we start having too many babies. We have these itty bitty little roots, but they're not doing much for us right now. What is that way over there? Is that... oh, that's a permanent nest. Oh my gosh, we haven't seen a single one of those on this entire island. So that might be a good place to potentially set up camp. Maybe we should have a Shiver go around her sister to try to investigate that a little bit more. We will of course need to have a pathway leading toward them as well because we don't want the boys to get lost. So go ahead and pick up a little bit more grass, and then on the next turn we'll see if we can make our way over to that nest. It's relatively close to the beach too, so maybe Stag can go back to his previous job of picking up the shells. I bet there's probably quite a few shells in this water right here. We haven't been over to this side of the island before, so there must be quite a bit of resources for us to gather. But now we can see what the very first baby of deer and sandstorm is going to look like. Cross your fingers that we don't have that no paw, and instead we'll see, oh my goodness, the digging trunk is back, and you look like a tiny little elephant again. Oh my gosh, she almost looks exactly like, oh, what was her name? Violet, the one that we left behind on the mountain biome to watch after all of our children. So maybe Violet has been reborn in a way on this island too, and she has those double claws. She's still carrying the Megaloceros horn, so yet again another chance for that to pass on in the future, but we still haven't been able to mutate those big ears on our babies yet. A little bit disappointed about that. Someday we're going to get those though, someday. Let's go ahead and have Deer pick up this shell, of course, to offer yet again to the Balance sisters. They unfortunately did not bless these babies because we don't have the nimble fingers on her, but she'll offer that next time. We'll bring her up here too to pick up all of these berries on the bush because we definitely need the extra food. And now where did your little fishies go, Cora? We need to try to find all of those little fishies that we saw in the water before. Let's scoot over this way maybe? I think I might have seen them. Yeah, there they are, like right there, way deep in the dark water. You can barely see them because it's so dark. It doesn't look like I can pounce on them though. So I think we might want to wait until they're just a little bit closer. Maybe instead we could move Sandstorm around a little bit. We could have him pick up some more grass and see if they end up moving closer to her. Yeah, they're right next to her now. Excellent. So we can pick up a ton of fish. There we go. You are already feeding all of your family members. We could have her poke her nose out of the water too every now and then to say hello to the babies. I hope this one is going to be okay because she is quite close to the water. Hopefully she's not in too deep, and we're going to have to find a name for her too. Since she looks so much like Violet, let's go back to the flower names and name her Iris. She even has those really pretty pink ram horns too, just like Orchid and Rare did, so it's probably quite fitting to give her the flower names again. Now Sandstorm, what can we do with you? Let's have you actually go around this way, because if I remember correctly, we had our very first Crabbits down here, yes. If we could find somebody to battle the Crabbits with you, that would be excellent. Maybe one of your future babies will be able to take on that task with you too. Now again, we don't want Stag to fall too far behind because we want him to get down to the shore for all of those tasty shells. So let's bring him down into the pathway. And then Glacier can follow with his little frog toes. He could actually light up a path so we can get all the way down to the beach within the next turn. I'm sure we are going to find so many shells down there. We can't see any just yet. Oh, wait a second. Yes, we can. We can already see one of those tasty shells. So pretty soon you're going to be able to provide for all of these new babies. And meanwhile, the ladies can keep making their way toward that permanent nest that we listened for in the grass. I guess we can hear the nest. We'll go ahead and dig up this root too before we forget about that, and then I guess we'll just play a leapfrog through the grass until we can create our own pathways. We'll have Frost go way up here, and there we go. There is our very first permanent nest. So a very good place for us to potentially start a family, I suppose. We even have more little roots for Onyx to dig up in the future. Still no berry bushes though. Still none of those shriveled up berry bushes, just tons and tons of the cactus plants. So since Shiver has technically already had a baby with Stag when Glacier was born, we'll go ahead and let Frost use this nest first. We'll scoot her right in there, and then I suppose her sister can come by and just make sure that all of this grass is picked up. We want to make sure that our babies are not going to get lost in all of this tall grass. We could have Onyx move down here so she's right next to her tasty root for the next turn. But otherwise, I believe that might be the end of this turn. So let's go back here just to make sure that our baby is okay because I'm a little bit concerned about her. She is in very, very deep, but she looks okay. She looks so happy. She must be nice and cool in the water, actually. She must be feeling very, very good. So Cora, do you have any more tasty fish to look for? Any more of these tasty fish down here? I don't see them. Like, again, it would be perfect if we had one of the guild creatures with the nimble fingers, because then we could get those shells that are really deep in the water. But there's the fish. They haven't gotten away too far, but I don't think you can pounce on them again. So let's do what we did before and have maybe Deer pick up some of her berries and see where the fish move. Maybe they didn't see you yet. Maybe they don't actually know that you're there. Oh, there we go. Well, I suppose they don't know that you're there then because they did move right into your claws. But we'll go ahead and swipe those up so we know we have enough food to last us through the next day. And then we'll keep making our way around until we get to those little kelp patches. Then maybe you could go all the way around the island and help your brother battle this crabbit. You know, while it does seem like his attention is on the crabbit right now, I wonder if he's really frustrated that he can't pick up these shells from his mate. Since she did tell him the stories of the Balance sisters, maybe he feels like it's his fault that they didn't get a baby with the nimble fingers instead. But don't worry, Sandstorm, you can come back here and breed with your mate again so you can hopefully have yet another baby. Hopefully one with those big giant horns this time, those Megaloceros horns. Now I don't think there's anything left for you to do over here. We could have you scoot over this way just to look for more shells, though it seems like it's a little bit bare at the moment. We might need to bring you down here to pick up this one before it gets washed away at least. Let's make sure we bring the little baby up a bit too so that she doesn't get lost in the currents, just in case. It probably was rather silly to place a nest right in the water, but Deer really wants to catch the attention of the Balance sisters. And wait a second. Do we literally have just one tiny port leading to the snowy mountains? Okay, so if we really wanted a challenge, I guess we could put just one creature on here and see where it leads. That's quite interesting. Let's go back here though and see what the new baby looks like. Oh my goodness. Look at you. You have those gills again, don't you? Just like your grandmother. Oh, that is so cute. We are going to need to look at his model because it's very difficult to see past all of that grass. Oh my gosh, that is adorable. And wait a second. He has double nimble fingers. He actually inherited the nimble fingers from his father, of course. And then the mutation menu took over for the other side and gave him another pair of nimble fingers. So now we do actually have a baby who can go into the ocean and swim around with the swimming tail that he has too. Oh, excellent. That means he'll have the extra movement speed, and he can pick up all of the shells in the water that his father can't reach. Oh, they'll be like a little father-son duo. That is going to be adorable. And look at you, Glacier. You actually grew up too, so let's give you your final jump color. There we go. And then we'll name your half-brother. I think we'll name him Winter to go along with that snowy theme that we were giving all of their babies, which makes sense because they were told all of the stories of their ancestors very long ago by Blizzard. So I suppose, Stag, we want to bring you down to the water, of course, to pick up these shells and to observe the crabbits. So we even have crabbits over on this side of the island. Ooh, more crabbits, excellent. So this must be the direction that they're migrating from because there's certainly more over here than we had on the other side. But let's make sure we pick up the shell. Before the crabbits get to it first, we need to pick up that shell. And then I suppose we're just going to clear out the area of grass a little bit more. Oh my goodness. Okay, I was just clearing out the grass and this little speedy cheetah went flying out of the grass. Look at you, little one. It's not a rogue male this time, thank goodness. He has the velvet paw. Oh, that's why he was so sneaky. That's why we didn't even know that he was there. He was sneaking around us with his velvet paw and his digging paw too, digging up all of those roots before we can get to them. Oh, this is quite interesting. Luckily, he has the normal eyes as well, so we don't have to worry about that if we do invite him to the tribe, and he has Immunity Gene E. Oh, I don't think we have access to that yet. Okay, so we need to find a way to invite this little guy to our tribe, I think. Hopefully, because we do need to give him 5 pieces of food to do so as well. And we don't exactly have the extra food right now, so we might just have to keep an eye on you for the future once we do have the extra food to spare. For now, we have a little root to dig up with Onyx, and he's already gone, speeding off into the darkness. I don't even know where he went. He completely disappeared. Okay, so it might be a little bit harder to pin him down later than I thought. But he is so young that he's going to be spending quite a bit of time on this island, so hopefully we'll run into him again. So let's zoom out again and skip the day and make sure that we're keeping our eyes out for the carnivores. Oh, excellent. It started to rain again too. That's always a good sign. That's usually a sign that the Balance sisters are watching out for us after all. So let's have a Sandstorm move to the side because, yeah, we do have a tasty root appear. Or actually, Iris, you could go around your father and just dig this up right away. Excellent. So she's going to be able to give us that boost in the root department because she does have the digging trunk, so she is much more skilled than somebody with just the regular digging paw. Now I think we're going to want to swipe up this nest and come over here. Now we'll have to wait one more day for their baby, but we want to gather up all of these berries instead because that's quite important now that it has started to rain. Cora can keep making her way around all of these ports until she gets over to this kelp, and I think I do spy some little fish. I think I do see them in that kelp, so maybe they'll get closer if we use on somebody else's turns. We're going to want to bring Sandstorm over this way anyway since he can get to the crabbit. Yeah, there we go, but it looks like the fish are going the other way. They're not as silly as their other friends that swam straight into our claws before. Now I think a big, strong Glacier is going to have to take one for the team here and make sure that all of his brothers and sisters are fed by swiping away at some of these cactus plants. So let's have him go ahead and attack this one. Oh my goodness, that actually made him bleed because he does have the hemophilia too. So he's a little bit more damaged, but that's nothing that we can't fix. We'll bring him right over here so Onyx can hopefully lick his wounds, and now he shouldn't bleed on the next turn either. So he only took 2 days worth of damage out of that, and we do have enough food to survive now, so it was a very, very valiant effort. And we might want him to try to get rid of some of these extra cactus plants too, since we haven't really developed a line that can pick from them yet. Stag, after all, is far too important to waste his life picking from the cactus plants, so let's bring him down a little bit further into the water itself and sniff around for some more of those shells. It's looking strangely bare out here. I wonder if it's because all of these crabbits have actually picked them up. Oh no, we have a leech though. I wonder if the leech saw him. Let's move around a little bit to see if it gets closer. It might actually be unaware of his presence. I really hope so because I don't want him to get a leech. Oh, wait a second. Oh no, do we have another rogue male? This is the guy that we saw before. Actually, get out of here, you. Get out of here. We don't want to see you around our babies. Let's start making a pathway toward the water as well so that Winter can get down there as soon as he's grown. We want him to toddle his way out of the nest after all, and we'll see if we can find anything along the shores. If we scoot down a little bit further, though I think most likely, yeah, it's just the cactus plants, so I guess we really don't have too many of those shriveled up berry bushes to deal with. And for that matter, I can't even find any more of those tasty roots. I wonder if that speedy cheetah that we saw before really is digging up all of our roots, probably stealing them right from underneath our noses. But we do have just enough food thanks to Glacier to at least last us through this day. So let's go ahead and skip the turn. We'll have to zoom out again, of course, though, just to make sure that we don't have any more carnivores. There we go. You know, honestly, I'm not too upset to see these guys because they will at least give us the food. So Glacier, this time you can really tear into the carnivore without worrying about getting hurt yourself. No trouble whatsoever. And Frost can come over here and gather up the meat. I'm sure she's very proud of you for working so hard to get so much food for the tribe. In fact, I think it might be time for us to have some of our very last babies on this island. So Winter can go ahead and take on his special gems just like his big brother, and then he can scoot down the shore so he's all the way down to the beach. Oh my gosh. And he can say hello to our speedy cheetah, looking for roots in the water, it seems. Not exactly the best place, but you guys can chat it up and exchange ideas on where to find all of that food. Then we can bring Shiver over here to sit inside the permanent nest just like her sister did before. And we're going to have to find a little bit more nesting material, I think, to properly give birth to all of these other children. We want, of course, Onyx to have her baby too. She'll pick up a couple more of these patches of grass, and then she can settle down right next to Shiver. Then we just need a tiny bit extra for sweet little deer. For now, she can pick up her berries, though, as she waits for that last little bit of nesting material, and we can have Cora make her way around the crabbit to slap it from behind. Oh my goodness. Sandstorm, you didn't even get to help. Your sister is so strong, so she can pick up the crabbit meat, I suppose. That's actually a little bit better than the fish meat she was gathering before. And now we have just enough nesting material for Deer's very final baby too. So place down your nest just where your mother placed hers as well, right next to the shores where the Balanced sisters can watch over. And then I guess we'll skip the day one last time to see what all of these brand new babies are going to look like. Let's go way back here first. Oh my goodness, how adorable is this baby? We have the violet eyes again, and yet again. Yeah, again, we have actually been blessed by the Balance sisters, so I think there is something special about this port in particular, this little tile. For some reason, they do seem to prefer that one above all of the others. This time he has the berry eyes though, so maybe he's actually going to be one of the creatures who stands next to all of these berry bushes and dutifully gathers them up for his tribe mates to eat. And Cora, I think you deserve to finally pick your nose out of the water, to poke your head above the waves and say hello to all of your new family members. Iris over here with her double claws and her big gorgeous digging trunk, which should certainly help us find some more food if we could only sniff out those roots. Let's have Sandstorm scoot up this way to see if he can find any more. Oh my goodness. Oh no, do we have another situation back here too? Right as we're ending out this tribe. Oh my goodness, the rogue males are back. But on the plus side, it looks like this breeding didn't actually work. So Frost has no interest in you, little guy. Let's move her way back here so we can hopefully bring Glacier up here to swipe at him and scare him away. There we go, protecting his family like usual. Glacier really has been one of the best creatures for that. And not only that, but it looks like Lavender's influence is still very, very strong in our nest. We have yet another little baby with those skills who can help his brother Winter down here once they go looking for shells, because I think he also has the nimble fingers. Yes, he definitely does, so they can find so many shells together. They should be able to dive into the ocean and pick up all of these tasty shells and the leeches too. It looks like even this baby was lucky. We have the nimble fingers on him as well, so he was able to go past his mother's no paw, and now the god of the harvest is really leaving his mark on these critters. I mean, just in time too, because we do have plenty of these cactus bushes to pick from. We have plenty of shells to gather up, so I think we can successfully say that these guys, even though they're a little bit low on food right now, are going to be able to survive. From the moment that they landed on this desert, they just barely scraped by, but their will to survive really pushed them along, and now we have plenty of healthy babies to show for it. So as I'm sure a lot of you know, the game has had yet another big experimental update added to its testing branch, which adds a whole bunch of new features that I am really looking forward to exploring with you guys. A pattern system, which is my absolute favorite thing, even hybrids between our creatures and the carnivores. So in order to fully immerse ourselves in this brand new expansion, we are going to leave the Frostbite Tribe behind, but I think, like I said, we can safely say that they are probably going to be able to survive, especially now that they have so many creatures that can dive back into the water and search for fish and leeches and shells. They are really going to have a pretty good time on this island, all things considered. This giant lie of a desert biome. We thought this was going to be all grasslands, but we were sorely mistaken, though I had a pretty good time traveling along with all these creatures, struggles and all, so I hope you guys did too, and I hope you guys are just as excited about our next island as I am. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!